we have Ashley Pate with Ash Events, and we are diving right into our podcast. So, Ashley, tell us the story about your friend and how you unexpectedly became a wedding planner.
Yeah, so I was actually supposed to be a bridesmaid that day, and then her wedding planner didn't show up on her wedding day. So I said, you know what, there's too much that's got to get done. I'll go take care of it. So I ditched my bridesmaid dress and went and set up and met with the vendors and coordinated and just started running her wedding day. And then, I don't know, it's just something about like the adrenaline from all of that. It's just something I'd never felt before. So I was like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And I reached out to pretty much every wedding planner that was in the area after that. I was looking for an internship, a hands-on experience, just a job, anything to kind of just learn what I could. And I got lucky and, ended up working for a wedding planner that her dad was a caterer, her mom was a florist. They managed a historical venue in Pawleys Island. So I really was able to just get full hands-on, experience on every aspect of what, even goes into a wedding day so that I could kind of apply that to, where I wanted to take this next chapter.
Gotcha. Awesome. So what were you doing prior to weddings?
Waiting tables everywhere and anywhere. And I was in school too, but it was, for different things. I thought I was going to be pre-law, I was going to be an attorney. And, I took a hard turn. I called my mom. I said, I'm dropping out of school and I'm going to take this unpaid internship. She said, what are you talking about?
Wow.
So yeah. And then, after a couple years of working that, it just kind of felt like the right time, and that's how Ash Events was born.
That's awesome. So I remember when you were working, I think, for that team, and I just remember like how amazing you were. And you obviously were like, I think, interning or whatever, so obviously you didn't have like your own name.
Right.
But I was like, this girl is so on top of it. And as photographers, sometimes we really have to step in and sort of like help the planners or whatever run the day along, but you were like right on it, and you were really assertive, and I love that, because with weddings and bridal parties and people, big groups of people, you have to have a voice, and I love that. Every time I work with you, I'm like, she's gonna get
it's taken care of.
She's gonna.
We're just making it work.
That's awesome.
But I feel like you either have it or you don't when it comes to this industry. You are either able to just like take it in and pivot, or you kind of sit back and cry, and like there's really no in between when it comes to that. So I mean, it is something where you just kind of have to roll with the punches and go with what comes your way.
I love it. So how long has Ash Events been in business?
Since August of 2018. So we're coming up, what is that, 8 years? I didn't do math there, but
that's awesome. But
yeah.
You have grown so much, and you've also expanded, and we'll get to those questions in a little bit. But did you imagine that your business would be where it is today?
Absolutely not. I mean, I was excited to take on 10 to 15 weddings a year, and I was like, that would be the goal, the dream. And I mean, here we are doing 85 plus weddings a year, and it's not just me anymore. We have multiple coordinators that kind of go out and stuff. So I definitely never anticipated being a boss at this level. It was more so just something to fulfill my time when we first started.
That's great. I think you're a natural leader, and a leader that you don't even, I feel like when I think of you, you just do it, and it's natural, and you're not even trying, but you just have people like follow you, like you have that command, and I think that's really awesome.
I appreciate it.
So now that you've experienced, so since you began this career and you had your hands on like a little bit of catering, you saw how that was, how that worked on the wedding day, and then floral and venue management. How has that translated into being, a wedding planner? Because you also said coordinator. So is there a difference between those two?
They kind of go hand in hand. I mean, I feel like if you hire a coordinator, they're essentially a planner, but planners aren't always coordinators. And so it kind of, yes, they are the same thing, but at the same time, each kind of have different roles. Your coordinator is more so like your day of person that's taking care of like your logistics, everything that kind of, goes with that, where the planner is doing everything pre. So a lot of the times now I handle a lot of the planning side of things, where my team handles a lot of the coordination side, just so that I am not so spread thin across everything that needs to get done, and I can actually see the full picture versus micromanaging every little small thing that needs to happen.
Yeah, and I think that probably seeing that from like your very first you know, sort of experience to see so many parts of the wedding. Like that probably gave you a bigger spectrum of like what is expected from the bride, and also the job of you as a planner, like what to look for
Absolutely.
on vendors and that.
And it's nice too, because I was able to put my hands into so many different like avenues of the wedding industry. I was able to see, okay, well, what are the pain points of the florist, of the caterer, of the photographer, so I can see what we need to do as the planner to kind of fill those gaps so that it just does run smoothly without it needing to be told.
Gotcha. I gotcha. Looking back, what advice would you give your younger self when you were starting out?
I would say, you know, when you get into the industry, it's so exciting to just take on like any opportunity that's kind of thrown your way. You really want to just like put your hands into everything, and any client that comes your way, you don't want to turn those down, because I mean, that's money that's coming into your bank account. But I think one of the hardest things for me that I needed to learn was it's okay to say no to things. You know, not every client or every opportunity is going to fill your cup. Some things are going to drain you. So it's okay to turn down some of these things, but at the same time, you know, setting boundaries and taking a time for yourself, you know, work-life balance, even, you know, 10 years in or whatever we are now, I still don't do it very well, but it's still something that like you know, if I could have told my younger self something, it's okay to say no, and it's okay to take time for yourself too.
Yeah, well, and that only comes with experience. It comes with taking on a client that maybe wasn't exactly aligning with you,
or their mom that wasn't aligned with me.
Yes, we've had some of that too, and then you're like, why did I do this? But then I feel like if you don't go through it, then you don't learn it, even if someone else tells you.
Right.
I think if you don't live it, because everyone has a different experience.
Absolutely.
Even with the same client, somebody could be like with a planner, they could give you. They can be really easy with you, but then really like
absolutely
like, oh, photography wise, this is my expectation, or vice versa. With
everybody has different priorities, especially when it comes to the wedding day, and I feel like get very hyper focused on certain things for each client. It's completely different. So I definitely see that happening a lot too, where it's like one vendor's like, this is the best client I've ever worked with, and another's like, this was a nightmare for me.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. And you're right. I mean, some people are really, I see it a lot. I see it like when I think of a job that I would not want to do in the wedding industry would be a planner, because I see like the mother of the brides going like under, you know, like the tent or the ballroom or whatever, and they're like, this linen or this fly, and you they're looking at you. So that responsibility kind of falls on you.
It does. And not just that, but like handling all of their emotions too. I mean, I can't tell you how many times that like our couples or their parents are not seeing eye to eye, or they have different expectations about like what's supposed to happen or anything like that. So then we're also playing a therapist, a mediator, like everything kind of in between. So yes, but at the same time, it is the most rewarding feeling to get to the end of a wedding day and see just like how they glow at the end of the night, to be like, none of that even mattered. It was all worth it.
Yeah. And a lot of times I do think that planners get a lot of credit for obviously the smooth factor in weddings. And I hear it, like people are like, oh my gosh, we wouldn't have done it with, you know.
Right.
I'm like, how about me? I'm taking the photos.
I did good too.
So you've coordinated hundreds of weddings. What really happens behind scenes that couples don't get to see?
Yeah, I feel like they really don't see like all of the prep that goes into it. I mean, I might have 20 to 30 touch points with a vendor just to get you an answer that you need before you actually see that. So they just see that they've asked me a question, and now they're just like kind of waiting on a response, but not everything that kind of goes with that like back and forth. And I think that that's kind of like the beauty of hiring a planner, is that you don't have to know all of these little things that are happening behind the scenes. You're not worried about like the linens, where are they getting delivered?
Yeah.
Did the tent show up? Like, did all of the forks make it? Like, are, you know, the couches, does something need to be painted? Like all of these things we're keeping an eye on, so that you can just be with your friends and family and then show up on your event day.
Yeah. No, I see how you work so hard, and how you're you have a great team too. Your girls are fabulous.
Couldn't do it without them.
Honestly, I have to just tell you that, you know, we had a recent wedding that I actually got pretty ill, which was the first time in 20 years.
It happens. We've all been there.
That was the first time though for me, and we were working with your team, and the girl that was your coordinator, I felt that she gave me so much grace because immediately I just looked bad. I even told you, do you have anything like
Help me.
help me? But like throughout the day when I actually got worse, like she was just like, it's okay. And I felt like I was so thankful that I was working with your team, because I feel like, I'm like, I don't know if that would have been the same with, I mean, I don't know, like who knows, you know, at a different venue or whatever, but like she just really had the most like appropriate people skills.
Yeah.
And I think I was on the phone with a potential client the other day, and I was telling them that as a photographer, photography is only a small part of the job. It's the people skills that really makes the difference.
Right.
To make sure like you're taking care of your vendors, of your, you know, like
Take care of your people.
Exactly.
Of
Just wanted
course.
to let you know that she did great.
No, I have a good group of girls, and I mean, and that's part of like, you know, the struggles of running a business too. Finding a good staff it's hard, very,
Yeah.
very hard. So, and I mean, especially, it's impossible to find somebody that's going to love your business the way that you do. So it's so nice and refreshing to have the team that I do now, because they really do pour everything that they have into this company.
Yeah. And I think too, as a business, I've learned a lot about like the training. Like we are constantly training on different, like for us, for photography, like
Right.
skills, edit, and you know, all these things. And you just like making sure that they're prepared for those situations, you know, to handle a client.
Absolutely.
Handle
a mother.
Oh my gosh. Send her my way. What's the biggest misconception that people have about wedding planner? What the planner actually does?
A lot of people think we're just decorators. I can't tell you how many times that we've been called the decorator, or, you know, something along the lines. They just don't really see what actually goes into and like what we actually do. And, you know, it's a lot more than just picking out pretty things. There's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of mediating, there's a lot of contract renewals, there's a lot of like things that we have to stay on top of as far as like timelines throughout, not just the wedding day, but the entire process. So I definitely think that they think we just show up and throw linen on a table and here you go.
Yeah. No, you guys have to keep up with budgets and stuff like that's
Well, I'm a spreadsheet guru, so if
you do.
I have a spreadsheet for everything. So I mean, that kind of helps, and you know, the girls know where to plug everything, but it keeps everything rolling. But no, it is a lot to keep up with.
How do you help your clients stay on a budget?
So we kind of establish out front, like what is ideally where we want to stay. And then I even try to back that up $5,000 at least, because there's always going to be something that comes up. There's going to be some sort of fee, some sort of like something you're not thinking of that we need to put money towards. So if we have a little bit of wiggle room, that's nice. But I'll normally allocate it out to say, you know, based off your venue, your head count, we should be spending X amount of dollars per category. And then I tell them, you know, if you have something that's a priority, you want to splurge on something, you need to either pull that from another category, or that's what we're going over budget. And then they can kind of see as they are making their decisions along the way. But also, as my, you know, job as a planner, I need to be referring vendors that kind of fit within that budget too. So, you know, if we have a, you know, $30,000 budget, I'm not going to recommend a $20,000 photographer just because that's not going to work out for them.
Darn.
So, so I mean, it just kind of, you know, it's this having, you know, conversations with vendors just to figure out what's their ideal client, what they charge, and then trying to put all the pieces together.
Yeah. I think that's realistic. I think like saying, hey, this have a cushion, like that's really real, because, and like as the wedding progresses and as people, I feel like they're planning their wedding, they're like, oh, now I need favors, and that could be $5,000. I mean, depending on how many people, you know, how many guest count and hats and all these things. I mean, it's.
I love the hats though.
Yeah.
I want them at every wedding right now.
Oh my gosh, they're awesome.
But it is. There's always something. You're going to see something on TikTok. You're going to see something that, you know, your friend did at their wedding and you want to add that to yours. There's always going to be something last minute that you're wanting to kind of spend that little bit of wiggle room on.
Right. Can you share a wedding day challenge that could have become a disaster, but it ended up being a success because of you or your team?
Yeah, I mean, that's part of the job. I mean, there's literally a hiccup every wedding. I mean, as much as we try to like keep that out of, you know, the couples or vendors or anybody needing to know that like things are crashing and burning behind us. I mean, it happens, you know, and that's part of the job to like bring it back to life. There's been so many times that we've had caterers or hair and makeup or just like a vendor that has canceled either like the day before or, you know, the day of, and we're needing to like pivot to replace these people while, you know, we're in the middle of a busy wedding season. You know, I've had grooms not show up until 12 minutes before the ceremony. We've had, I mean, just cakes melt in the sink. There's, I mean, a mountain of things that have really happened. But I think like one of the biggest challenges that I've kind of seen recently is we were doing a wedding in Charleston. There was this like historical venue that different sections you got access to at like different times throughout the day. So the rental company came and they set everything up for the reception space, and we didn't get access to the ceremony spot until 4 o'clock. So they had to come back at 4 to reset the ceremony spot. So I told them as they were leaving from setting up the reception, be back at 3:45 in the parking lot so the first chair can hit inside at 4 o'clock. 4:05, they're still not there. I'm calling my rep. I'm like, hey, where are the guys? What's going on? This is silly now. Like, what's going on?
Funny,
Every 5 minutes, we're like texting. They're on the way. They're in traffic, this and that. I mean, Charleston traffic.
Oh, my gosh.
There's nothing you can do, right? So they finally show up at 5 o'clock as guests are showing up. Ceremony's at 5:30. Okay, great. So we needed to then pivot. We got catering to start pouring like a pre-ceremony drink. We stashed everybody into like the cocktail hour space. We're like, y'all go hang out in here for a cocktail while I'm routing all of the rental company in through the side door. So we had one of my team members greeting guests. We had one on the truck throwing chairs off. We had one upstairs throwing chairs out where they go. And it was just an assembly line of making it work. Started ceremony 2 minutes late. So I mean, like
That's life-saving.
But like the couple didn't need to know.
Right.
The photographer still got pictures of everything. I mean, it's just like being able to have a team that will also jump in and kind of like help through that pivot.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, and I know too about you. Are you like a justice of the peace?
I am an ordained minister.
Okay, I like that. Okay, is there like a saving story about that too?
There is.
I don't know. Okay, I want to hear that.
So, well, we all, like my whole team just got ordained during COVID just in case. You just never know. Something happens. Somebody's friend didn't make a flight. You just never know. And we were doing a wedding in Charleston, and it was maybe like 20 minutes before the ceremony, and the officiant shows up. And he was like, I am just ill. I'm deathly ill. I can barely stand. I'm weak. I just don't know that I can do this. And I'm like, okay, well, let me get you some water. Let's go sit down on this chair over here. Get you a fan. I'll come check on you like 5 minutes before the ceremony. So I go over to him 5 minutes before. He's like, I can't do it. I cannot stand up. And I said, well, can I at least use your ceremony script? So Jana was the photographer for that wedding, and I had on this black dress that had like white flowers all over it, and the whole wedding party is in all black. And she goes, you cannot stand up there with those white flowers on it, and everybody else is in all black. So we changed outfits. And in that 5 minutes, we changed outfits. I got mic'd up, never told the bride that I was officiating, and just walked down the aisle.
What's she like? What's going on?
It's so funny to see the pictures of her. Like as she's walking down the aisle, she's just looking at me so confused, and I'm just here to officiate.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
You just whatever to make it work. You just make it work.
Well, I'm sure they were thankful for that, and I
I
feel also for the person that wasn't able to officiate, because like that one time I got sick, I didn't want to actually continue on because I didn't want to, like whatever I had just come up, I didn't want to get our couple sick, and they're starting their wedding.
Imagine him puking during the ceremony. I would have died.
Yeah. So yeah, that happened to me right after the ceremony.
Yeah.
With that bride, I had to beeline to the bathroom, and it was horrible. But we didn't even tell them that I was sick. I was just like,
everything's great.
Good. Everything's great. Well, so like that's important too, like keeping your composure, like remaining professional.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, truthfully, we get 4 hours to give somebody the best day of their life. So, I know that like there are things going on in our own lives. There are things going on where, we don't want to show up and be there, but that's all we get is that 4 hours, and they don't get a second chance at a wedding day. Right. So we got to just suck it up and keep it moving.
We have to. What are some things that couple can do to make your job easier and ultimately to make their wedding day smoother?
Honestly, just trusting us, and communication. Communication is huge in this industry.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't tell me what you need, I can't make it happen. But at the same time, you have seen my reviews. You have seen that, you know, vendors love working with us. Trust that we're going to make it happen. And, you know, you don't have to micromanage every single little thing that we're doing. You can say, I want XYZ, and know that we're going to make that happen.
Yeah, I think that's important too. Like, just creating that trust of that communication. I've actually now like put a little bit more of sort of like a protocol whenever we're booking a client. Like, I need to have a minimum of like 3 phone calls, just so like, you know, because we're booking like a year, 2 years out.
Yeah, and I mean, they have like all these ideas to start, but that progresses and changes as they go. So like, you do have to have those touch points along the way.
Right. So let's talk about trends. What are some of the trends you're loving right now?
Yeah, so I would like to say I'm a very non-traditional wedding planner. Like, yes, we still do very traditional weddings for the couples that are like, that's what I want, but I really am sick of seeing a lot of the same colors and, you know, things over and over again. So I just love just a maximalist client. I want somebody that wants to put fun chandeliers or draping or just textures and patterns and just different colors kind of everywhere where we can. And I think that, you know, the really most memorable weddings and things that like your guests really remember are the way that you brought your like yourself into your wedding day, whether that be with your colors or, you know, activities or, you know, things like that, but also very like interactive vendors now. I just love how we're shifting more towards that versus just like the same 4 hours that we always did.
Give me an example of an interactive vendor.
There's so many ways. So like food is a good way to do things interactive. Like the oyster shuckers that like walk around, or like the people that are piping the cannolis or building you your own individual charcuterie. I think those are always fun. You could do it with like activations, like little pop-ups. Like I know there's like a fragrance company that comes and you make your own fragrance. They have like
for weddings?
Yep, they have like the live fashion sketches. Rancher Hat Bar comes and they can do you your own little like custom cowboy hat or trucker hat. So I mean, there's so many fun things just depending on like what you like to do on a date night that you could incorporate into your wedding day. That's what people are going to remember, not just that you serve them cocktails and food.
Gotcha. And then on the opposite of that, what are some like either trends or, you know, things that couples shouldn't feel like pressure to follow?
Yeah.
What would you say?
I feel like people put themselves in such a box that says like, okay, my cousin did this at their wedding, I have to do this at mine. And yes, there are some things in like, you know, parts of a wedding day that are, you know, still traditionally like exciting to do, but just because somebody else has done it doesn't mean you have to. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love cake. I'm down to cut cake all the time, but like, if you don't love cake, don't cut a cake. Like, let's do something else fun. Or, you know, don't feel like just because somebody did a bouquet toss that you have to. Like, there's just all these little things that, like, I feel like are expected from a wedding that don't have to happen because nobody really even cares.
I gotcha. Yeah. So let's see. For someone who's newly engaged, what are the first 3 things they should do?
Hire a planner.
Okay, number 1, hire Ash.
Number 1, no, truthfully, I mean, I think even too, before you book your venue, you need to be at least talking to a planner, even if you don't secure them, just so that you can get a realistic idea of what things are going to cost and is what you're asking for even doable at your venue. You know, I think it's a little bit easier for us because there are some planners that only take on, you know, 1 client in a day, that it's a little harder for them to be like, okay, planner first, because sometimes you need a date first. But for our team, we have, you know, 7 coordinators that could potentially be sent out on an event, so we have flexibility to take on more. So I do think it's nice when our clients come to us before they book their venue, so we can kind of walk them through it. But definitely planner, venue, and photography are like the 3 that I'm like, we need to do these things first.
Yes, definitely. I do feel special when our couples are like, I've had people like even move their wedding date because they really wanted us to do their photography, or they, you know, they work conjunctively. I feel like we just booked one that was like wanting to make sure that I was available and she figure out, and so it's so nice.
It's such a good feeling.
Yeah, it is a good feeling because you feel like, okay, they really like what I'm doing. Like, you know, part of my craft because I feel like photography is an art, and so
it is.
when they value sort of like that thing that you're producing and they're moving their day around, they're moving their like whole plan to have you, it's like, wow,
it feels good.
Yeah.
And two, like, I can't tell you how good it feels when like a client comes, like we always do like a Pinterest board for brainstorming. I'm like, it doesn't even have to make sense. Just dump anything that you're like, I feel good about this picture into a Pinterest board so I can just see what your vibe even is before we get started. But it's such a good feeling when they put like your past work into their Pinterest board to be like, this is the inspo that I love.
Are you using AI at all to implement? If so, tell us
1000%.
how.
So many AI programs, and people are probably going to yell at me for this.
No, I feel like we should all, I mean, I think that like implementing technology is like the next way to actually move to a more efficient, like
to grow.
Yeah, to grow, to be efficient, to be cohesive. So, I mean, what programs or how are you implementing
So
them?
Fathom is my best friend. Yep, Fathom. Yep, write that one down. I'll send you a link. But it connects to my Zoom, Google Meet. I can start it on my phone too, but it essentially records all of our meetings so that I can go back and rewatch anything that we talked about.
Okay.
And it also like takes notes for you too. So if I am like in conversation with a client and I say, I'll do this for you, or I'll put that on your to-do list, it goes ahead and starts making me a to-do list of like those action items so that I can easily see like what we were kind of working on from there. I use Gemini and ChatGPT for everything as far as like social media, brainstorming, if I'm just kind of stuck, design boards. It's so great for that because I can put a picture of a linen, a chair, and even the venue, and I say, okay, make this linen in there, and it gives them a visual representation of like what things will even look like.
That's awesome. I use AI to actually help me redesign my office, so which we just kind of renovated it, and I just didn't know what colors, and but it just kind of like gave me an idea, and I was like, I love how it feels, and so I think using technology is like, I feel like it's a positive thing. So I'm always like, what is the next thing? How can I apply that to like even our editing, software, and just so
Absolutely.
that we can be like faster, honestly. I mean, we want to be fast. I mean, time is money, right? So
100%.
we want to be like,
and we say a lot of the same things over and over again. And I know each wedding and each couple is different, but I answer a lot of the same questions over and over. So it's nice that like my Gemini is connected to my Google Drive and then to my Gmail, so that it gives me a summary. It says at the beginning of the day, these are the action items that you need to be focused on, and like these are the people that are waiting on you right now. But then if it's something that I've already answered multiple times, it'll go ahead and start drafting a response for me, and then I just need to kind of plug and play from there.
That's great. This segment is rapid fire in real talk.
Ooh.
So first look or traditional?
First look all the time. It takes so much stress off the day.
Yeah. Not saying you would steer your client, because as a photographer, obviously first look is like a lifesaver for me.
Night and
I
day.
also want to like respect my clients, like, because a lot of these people have, especially our brides, they've been dreaming of their wedding day since they were little babies. So
Well, and they're dreaming of their partner crying at the end of the aisle. And I tell them, don't understand how many more times that they cry when you do a first look than they do at just the end of the aisle when everybody's staring at them expecting a response. But almost every single one of my clients that have done a first look, somebody's crying at the end of the aisle.
Yeah. And I tell my clients this, it doesn't take away from your moment of walking down the aisle when you do a first look.
Nope.
Because I feel like when you do a first look, it's like such an intimate moment. It's almost like, when he sees you coming down the aisle, he's gonna be like, oh, she already gave me this moment privately, and here it is, and it's still magical.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I really love, and I don't know if you've had any of this, but I've had a handful of this recently where the couples are getting ready together versus even doing a first look. So they're together all morning. They're like putting the tie on together. I've literally just got chills. It is the cutest thing.
I have not done that.
It is my favorite. I'm like, I don't even love a first look as much as that.
Okay. So like getting ready together.
Yes. Like literally in the mirror, brushing their teeth to get like the cutest
That's
stuff.
So cute.
Yes, so cute.
I feel like that's, I mean, there's these traditions, but I mean, how sweet to be able to kind of go through that moment of like.
And that's natural. Like that's what you would do on a normal day.
Right.
Like let's keep that going.
What is the biggest wedding planning myth?
I don't know. That one's a tough one.
Maybe that they can do it themselves. I feel like, I mean, and people can do
They can.
their
They
own
very
planning,
much can.
But I think the managing of stress is a lot when it comes to, especially if it's going to be I think this happens a lot with like some venues that might offer like a play, like a day on,
A venue coordinator.
Right. And they do a great job. But I think like when these brides want a real involvement in like these little details, I think that is like, adds a lot on them, where like it's like you need to relax and be a bride.
Absolutely. And don't get me wrong, I love our venue coordinators. We have such a great partnership with like every single one of them. They literally save my life on more occasions than not. But I think people do assume when you say that I'm a venue coordinator that they're there to be your day of coordinator, and it's often not the case. Most of the time they're there to make sure that whatever the venue is providing is where it's supposed to be.
They're more like in the, catering, making sure the food, but like I'm talking about like when people have the koozies and the things that are like pre. They're like, oh, I'll do that. And then I see our brides sometimes handling a lot of little details that I feel like that's what stresses them on their wedding day, when they should just be like getting their hair and makeup done and just...
The wedding planning itself is not what stresses anybody out. Planning a wedding is easy. That's the easy part. It's the people coming to your wedding that stresses you out.
Ah, okay.
Very much so.
Like bad energy, or...
No, just I'm saying like it's all the opinions. It's all of the, you should do that, or I did this at mine, or just all these little things. It's,
maybe the expectation.
Yeah, and just the dynamics of all these different people coming together, that's what's stressful. It's not picking out linens or picking out a photographer or anything like that. What
would you say is like, as a planner, what would be like one of the most stressful like situations for you on a wedding day?
The weather. The weather is the worst part of my job, especially in this area. Everybody wants an outside event, outside ceremonies most of the time. So I'm glued to my weather app, like I'm Ed Piotrowski trying to like predict what's going to happen. And you do the best you can to find a pocket and just keep moving, especially during like some of these more wet months. But that is definitely the most stressful part of my job. I can control a lot of other things, but that's outside of my control.
Yeah. What else would you want to share as a wedding planner that you've experienced, that you've learned? I mean, I feel like it's such a big career and job. It's like, how do you keep like staying fresh and not comparing yourself to other people, or year after year? How do you like find new inspiration?
Well, I think it's important. I mean, I wouldn't say to like look at what other people are doing, because I mean, you do want to kind of stay in your own lane and do your own thing, but I think it's so important to surround yourself with like-minded people that are also pushing you to get where you want to go. Going to conferences, going to networking events, meeting anybody that you can and asking them questions is definitely like the best way to keep everything fresh. But also just getting on Instagram and seeing some bigger trends and bigger ideas and seeing like where things could even go definitely helps keep that fresh.
How have you grown your social media? Because it's so beautiful. Your posts are stunning.
I'm a little neurotic about it.
I just think your posts are always just organized. The colors. I mean, how have you developed that?
Well, I think what's hard, it's a little different from like a photographer to a planner when it comes to like social media, because all of your photos and images are gonna relatively look the same as far as like the coloring and things like that. For me, I'm getting galleries from all different styles, and it's hard to like piece them together. So we really do try to look at it as like one grid at a time and stack it to, these are some like-minded colors, and then fade it into like maybe something darker or something lighter. But I didn't even have a website for the first 8 months that we were in business. Social media that's how everybody found me. And even some of like the biggest opportunities that I've gotten have come because people found me on TikTok. So I noticed that very early on and put a lot of attention into keeping social media as up and current as we kind of could, and I finally got to a point where I could hire somebody that would be able to keep up with that. So I have 2 girls that really jump in and they manage each avenue of our social media, but I also use AI for that. I use a program that I will upload a video to TikTok and then it pushes it out to every other social media platform that we have, so that I'm not needing to hard push it to each location.
Okay, I think you're right. Like we and then we're also doing a lot of different things, because obviously we do weddings, we do family portraits, I do headshots, we do all flying dress, all these things. So like, I'm always trying to figure out like, how do we make our grid look cohesive, organized, the captions, all these things.
The captions, that's the hardest part. And then tagging everybody, it's so tedious.
Oh my gosh. We were actually just like making sure, going back through some posts, making sure that everybody was tagged. I mean, and a lot of times I feel like I have so much in my life, like all this balancing, acts I'm doing with, family, our children, trying to stay fit, now I'm playing golf, and it's like, oh my gosh, I keep adding more things to my plate.
That's okay, stay busy.
Yeah, we are. I mean, I think that you kind of have to keep your mind like moving and staying refreshed. Like, what helps you stay fresh, stay current, stay like light and happy?
Yeah, I'm traveling. I mean, really just experiencing different parts. I feel like, it's so nice that I don't just service this area, that I'm able to kind of go anywhere and everywhere and see what different cultures are like, and what, maybe it's a pattern on a building, or, a fabric on a drape or something, but it's just like these colors coming together can help kind of see how that goes.
Where location are you actively like servicing right now?
So the like Grand Strand and then Charleston we have offices in, but I mean we really do service all of South Carolina. I have interns that we get from USC, Clemson, College of Charleston, like kind of all coastal, just so that we can have people in kind of each of these areas. But we'll go anywhere for love. I have a map that one of my favorite clients gave me, but we're trying to do a wedding in every state, so we've been slowly just crossing each one of those off. And then we've gotten lucky and gotten a couple of international weddings that we'll
you
go
went
anywhere.
to Italy?
We did. Italy was a dream, but I'm also going to France and Cabo this fall, so I'm very excited about
Wow.
those. Yeah, cannot wait.
Good for you. That's such a achievement to be able to like take your work internationally and learn from those cultures and how weddings operate.
Yeah.
And
it's a completely different learning curve.
so my country, the weddings there start so late. The ceremonies start like 10 o'clock at night, and they go until like
6 in the morning.
Yeah, 4 or 5 a.m. And my cousin,
I'd be sleeping.
My cousin got married, and I was so happy, obviously, to go. And she's like, I don't want you to worry about doing the photography. Like, I want you to enjoy it. And I was like, okay, great. And then we get there and everything. The ceremony starts at 10 o'clock. What? And I took our...
10 a.m. or?
Yeah. I'm like, 10 a.m.? That sounds good. I'm like, oh, crap.
I'll be in bed by 8.
No joke. We were like just getting, and it was running late. And my kids were infants, and they were falling asleep on my lap. And the ceremony was so long. And then the reception, we didn't start until like, I don't know, 12. And then it went up to like 5 a.m.
I can't do it.
So, and the photographer...
Don't call me for those.
Honestly, I was like, your photographer is an angel.
Yeah.
I would have been like
I'm a sleepy girl after 10 o'clock.
Oh my God. And so, yeah, cultural-wise, weddings happen at different times, different.
So different. Well, I think one of the coolest things with like Italy is I just didn't realize how much they eat. And so like we, got there, we had their, appetizers open up for cocktail hour. And I mean, it was so much food already for that. That could have been plenty for the rest of the night. But then they had a pasta course, then they had a salad course, then it was like this course, and then a meat course. And then by that course, everybody's like, I cannot eat anything else.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow. I think that's so cool. Did you, were they American?
Okay. They're local. They're actually bridesmaid and groomsmen in like another wedding that I had done.
Okay.
And so they had already like inquired with me, and we were kind of like looking at venues, and they were like, well, how do you feel about going to Italy? My bags are already packed.
We got a passport. That's what I tell people. Like, I have a passport.
It's ready. Let's go.
That's so funny. Now, what would you say would be the piece of advice that you can give to anyone that's wanting to either start up a planning business or coordinating, or just in general to kind of want to do their own thing, and maybe they just need like some advice?
Yeah, take any opportunity you can get. Like, get your feet wet somewhere. I think reaching out to venues, planners, and caterers are going to be like the best way to kind of get as much, broad experience as you kind of can. But, just get out there and immerse yourself into this industry as much as you can and soak it all in, and just don't be afraid to go for it. I mean, yes, this is a saturated market for sure, because there's so many wedding vendors from Wilmington down to Savannah, but there's always room for more, and there's always room for what somebody's looking for. So like, don't let that comparison like steal your joy too.
Right. Yes. Well, thank you so much. You're
Of course,
wonderful,
thank you.
fantastic.
You're
I'm happy
wonderful.
for your accomplishment. And did you just
Thanks,
get
Queen.
an office?
I did in Rose Inlet. We just moved.
Okay.
Yes.
Are you doing a grand opening party? Or
I think
something?
eventually. I think I need a couple weeks.
No, it's a lot when you're like,
Yeah.
moving, shifting. I mean,
Well, and I don't know about you, but we really didn't get a break this season. Like normally July and August there's nothing. And this year this is the only weekend we've had off. So
that's crazy.
yeah, we just haven't had time.
I gotcha. Let me ask you, are you still doing the picnics?
Yes, we
Okay.
love the picnics.
Okay. I love that.
I feel like we kind of put it on the back burner a little bit just because weddings got to be so busy, and a lot of the times people are wanting to do those on the weekend. So maybe eventually we'll pop them back up a little bit more, but the people that know about it, we still have it.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much.
Yes, of course. Thank you, Queen.